Hello, hello, everybody. Uh, as always, just typing in my little message, my little welcome message. So give me a minute here. And if you're stopping by, let us know. Let us know. Say hi and maybe say where you're from too. Um, or not. Let's see. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Uh, Chesterfield. Yeah, you guys aren't too far away from where I am right now. Hey, Vanessa. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to read my little disclaimer. I'm not sure what we're going to do today. I was tuning in at the beginning and it was like, okay, what do we do? Nothing was coming up. They're making me kind of just be really just last minute, go fly by the seat of my pants. Let's see. Today is March 16th, 2022. My name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I don't diagnose, prescribe, or heal. I can scan your frequency and energy patterning and tell you what I see. And please consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice. All content is copyright protected, and you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. There we go. Okay, so I have no idea what we're doing today. But as I was reading my little disclaimer, one thing that came up is people will ask how they feel, and they're coming from a place where I feel great, I feel fine, and sometimes it's just wanting that confirmation. And what happens with me is that maybe 99% of you is in a good place. But if that 1% is there that's coming up, I need to bring it up. And the analogy I make for that is like if you have this beautiful scarf and you're walking in a hello, Alejandra, good to see you. Um, so you have this beautiful scarf and it's draping, flowing around your neck, and then you walk by maybe a rose bush or something, and a thorn just catches one thread, at 1%, boom, it pulls up, it messes up the whole scarf. So it's important to kind of keep that in mind, when we're doing this work or when we're getting support, kind of thing, uh, because uh, that's the way I work. Okay, there's some people who just hold you, make you feel good, and that's fine, and help you shift in that feel good environment, and I do that too. But there's always that piece for me. It's like if there is something that shows up, I'm going to respond to that. So that kind of came up last time. So let's just take a nice deep breath in and see where we start, where we are for starters. Let yourself get settled into your environment, you know. Become really aware of everything around you. So it's almost like you're becoming aware of the air around you, and in that air, the air that's between you and whatever object you're might be looking at. So being aware of both of those at the same time, and get that really bringing that sense of your body in that locations. You can do that with sounds, and of course sounds are going through the air, but there's when you start kind of paying attention to the air, you kind of start to have a sense of, oh yeah, there's kind of this little movement that's going through the air from whatever direction that sound is in. Sound is interesting because it bounces off things too. Um, so it's sometimes kind of giving us a inaccurate perception of where it's coming from. So that could be really interesting. So feeling that air. Oh, hello, Michelle. Feeling that air around us. And when you start putting your awareness on the air, kind of the atmosphere, it starts to feel different. You know, it's almost like there's this thickness that comes in. Yeah, starts to feel real different. Yeah, feel free to post your comments on how you're feeling that air around you. You know, and all the way up to your skin. I'm a little higher than my screen. There we go. That's better, I think. So really allowing ourselves to slow down, slow that mind down. So it slows down, it gets more quiet. And you can just kind of put your awareness on that air and behind you too. Maybe notice it, the air, and then contact with your hair. Having a sense of that contact with your clothes, and your clothes having a hi Laura, and having a the close contact with your skin. There might be some air pockets between the clothes and the skin. And you might get a sense of the texture of the material also. Maybe compare the texture of the material, maybe of your shirt, as opposed to your pants or your skirt if you're wearing a skirt, or different layers. Like if you're wearing a dress, maybe there's another layer you can feel into, like your shoes or your socks. Really becoming aware of that. Sorry, sending your link to Devon. Yeah, that's fine. No sorries about that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing sharing that. And yeah, share with your friends and have them come in and join in the chill. Join in the chill. So, I'm just going to tune in while everybody's in that kind of deeper space. So, okay, a little exercise here for you. Notice how this space feels. I'm going to do something a little different in a minute, but just notice how that feels, and then we'll compare. So this is space one, we'll call it. And notice, like maybe the density, get a sense of the density or the thickness of the air. There is kind of this density there. And, without having to have like a measurement tool or something, you just get a sense of that. Just kind of notice that for yourself. And noticing everything around you. So it's interesting because it gets very still. And like for me, there's a clock on the wall. I can hear it ticking. So so that kind of brings to the forefront that sense of time, passage of time. Going from one moment to the next. Every tick is a new moment, a new moment, a new moment. And now let me do a little something, and let's see how this feels for you guys. See how those qualitative factors change for you. Thank you so much, Anna. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. I can send you a direct link, or you can just email me directly. So how does this feel now as compared to a minute ago? I've been very distorted in time and space. Okay. um, went to the hospital and decathlon. They all asked me for a greenness. Is that the green pass? Miss Moss, 18 days because I scheduled at 16:30, even though I knew it was at 15:30, 4:30, 3:30. What the heck is going on? It's the full moon effect. Yeah, good. Um, so Ilaria, right now, come into the space. I think this will be good for you. There is a little bit of a purity wave coming through, so that could be part of the issue. Yeah, that's what I thought. So come into this space. So any comments, any qualitative shifts that you can identify between what we were doing before and now? And just think in terms of adjectives, descriptors. The sounds around me sound more detailed. Oh, interesting. So kind of shifted the whole group into kind of a little time suspension there. It's not quite a timeless space because that feels even more different to me than what we have here. But it's more kind of like that suspended in time. Time is suspended in time. This makes me come down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Um, so it's almost like kind of hitting that pause button. You know, you see those commercials where they're like in midair. So a little bit of that feeling. And for me, okay, I was talking about the air. So now the density it has shifted. It's not doesn't feel as dense to me. It's interesting, Ilaria, what you say. So this hyper. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's Elizabeth. I'm just seeing that little YouTube icon. Um, so that hyper awareness and that suspension of time, yeah, time suspension. is very akin to just that present moment. We kind of feel it differently because in the present moment, we're still focused in that flow of time, even though we're focused on one moment. So it's interesting. It's like a different way. So it kind of bypasses your what your logical what your logical mind, but also your habitual mind, and allows you to come more into the present moment. Yeah, and so if you like the anger, Anna, if you kind of contemplate that, probably figure out it's anger that's from down before in time, not present moment, right? It's not something that just immediately happened. And if it happened just before that, then it's there's a trigger. So it's sort of like when we're in this timeless space, I'm sorry, not timeless space, this suspension of time. It's like in those ads and in those movies where they're moving and all of a sudden they're like, and the 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 water's flowing out of the in the air, but it's just still, and it's like you can see, okay, that that and follow, and uh, kind of see the progression of things. So let's let ourselves kind of sit in this for a little bit. And in this space, notice what you brought up. Hey, Devin, nice to have you on here. If you have any questions, please feel free to post on there. So, like Ilaria, just kind of look back to what you said about having missed the 18 day and blah blah blah. Being angry, um, not being able to do what we want when we're trying to do something and it's not happening. So take a deep breath into this suspended time. And see if that brings clarity. Oh, Glenna. Hi, Glenna. Good to see you. It's been a while. Feel irritated. Hey, okay, you're not the first one here. So take a deep breath in and let yourself settle into the space. Yeah. Coming into that suspended time space. There you go. It's almost like it creates that separation in kind of a different way than maybe what we're used to. And it's like this little balloon of irritation just kind of floating in front of you now. See if you can catch that, Glenna. Oh, Ilaria, there's some other stuff coming up for you. Are you noticing that? That's kind of underneath the anger. So the anger is kind of the first level. But underneath that, so the anger was actually kind of covering up for you underneath that. And I won't say what I'm saying. I'll just have you kind of tune into that and see if you can feel that for yourself. Yeah. There's a couple layers there that have shown up already. And Glenna, okay, let me guide you a little bit because you're still in a place of where so you didn't come in at the beginning with us, and so let me walk you through because it's like still kind of sticking to you. So and anybody else who needs it, Devin, if you because I don't haven't checked in with you, but you're kind of new here, so feel free to follow along or anybody else who needs it. Take a deep breath in, Glenna. Exhale out completely. Ah, there's some way deeper emotions than irritation and anger, guys, here. So let yourself sit with that and see if you can start to feel those because those are the ones you want to get to. Come into the earth, Glenna. Let yourself connect to the earth. You know, for some reason, Devin, the ocean is showing up. It's like I want to say, like, you know, let yourself, like you're at the beach and the ocean. You're connecting with the ocean. That's showing up for you right now. Deep down into the earth, Glenna. Let yourself just keep dropping down. Okay. Let yourself come into yes, the picture behind you. That's great. Yeah. I'm seeing the ocean, like island, ocean island kind of thing. But great, yeah, so good. So Glenna, let yourself come into your body. Pull those frequencies with your breath. In breath, pull those frequencies back up. Good, Ilaria, good one. You got it. And it's more than anything specific. It's just this general. So yeah, it connects up to a lot of different things, but this loss, this grief, yeah. There's a lot of that going on right now. I was seeing it come through men first, and now it's really actually coming through the women as well, through women as well. So it's good. We need to clean that out because it's buried in so deep. So Glenna, really come feel your body. Feel the air around you. Start kind of like really noticing the air. And I'm going to just re-emphasize this other piece here for bring it back to the forefront for everybody. Wow. Okay, Glenna, that's bringing up a lot of pain. Trauma is my sense with you. So let yourself be held by this. So there's it kind of went into this suspension of time, which kind of really brings everybody. It's an interesting piece here, as opposed to present time, but it's very much the same thing. But kind of this stop action, because the present time there's always going on to the next one. Okay, I like what you're saying there, Ilaria, but there's a part of you that's coming through where you're not really feeling that piece. You're repeating what you've heard from somebody. So that it's not that it's inaccurate, but you've got this filter you're bringing that through with. So it feels there's a mechanical quality to what you feel there. So it's not really, you haven't connected to that piece yet for yourself of what somebody is saying. I'm still somewhat annoyed with my chemistry teacher. So deep breath in. Yeah, come into that feeling, the space around you. You gotta ask yourself why you're taking on that thing with the teacher. That's not you. You're taking something on there from, yeah. Even if it's a belief about yourself. Yes, agree. Yeah, so that's fine, Laura. Just notice that, and we all do that. We hear something, it's like, wow, it makes sense. So it's good to like integrate it into our beings, really feel that for ourselves, so that it starts to get anchored into, and a deeper understanding, a deeper wisdom starts to come through uh, uh, um, with that. And it's not that you're not incorrect, but there's just that filter that comes through. Um, Lots of pain, my left knee today. Feel the effects of the full moon. It's on my birthday. So you're. I don't know when the full moon is. It's coming up real soon, I guess. So happy birthday, Devin. Um, I sent you that information via Anna because I don't have your email, but something to consider in terms of what we were talking about the other day. What came up for you? 18th. Yeah, you're welcome. The 18th. Yeah, so coming up real soon. A couple days. All right. Yeah, and Devin, for you, what? Okay, yeah. Laura's bringing up the feminine, and let's see. Okay. Let me pause a minute and see what I can do with this for a minute here. So everybody, just let yourself feel into where you are. And Glenna, yeah, I know you gave it to him, but just affirming that. Yeah, Glenna, nice. Give me some feedback on where you're at. Okay. Let's see, how do I work with this? Okay, for Devin, so I'm going to focus on Devin, but this is going to be good for everybody. Here's the thing for you, Devin. And you're like 1 in a million. No, I'm sorry, you're not 1 in a million. Reverse. There's a million men out there. It's more than a million. There's a gazillion men out there who are kind of the same, have the same issue with you. You've got. It's almost like you've got too much feminine frequencies, and that has to do with just the patterning. Very, very typical. I talked about it before last time, I think. So and for you, that's there's a difficulty there because you know. So it's not about, we all have the masculine and feminine, but it's about what's kind of gotten embedded into you. It's feminine frequencies. So that's different. And that's that is creating a lot of stress in your system. And in your system, I mean your whole being, from one end to the other, one level to the other. And let's see, where was it going with that? So it's creating the struggle internally with you, because you do know that you're masculine, and yet there's this stuff that's in you that's so. All right, and Glenna, I want to hear how you're doing. So let's take a deep breath in, coming into your center, to your spine, and your sternum bone on the front, feeling that rib cage and that spine. Really bringing or let's just do the bones, the whole skeletal system if you want, but you can just also just stay on just the spine and the rib cage. Wow. Can you feel that struggle that you have? I tell you to come into your It's fine. And there's an incredible amount of struggle within you that's showing up all of a sudden. So I don't, if you can feel that. Okay, let me work on opening that, shifting that out for you. A lot of struggling with yourself. And the struggle is between what you have believed and thought was you, and the part that knows that that's not really fully accurate. So there's this kind of trying to let go, but then but that's me, but that's not me, but that's me. Okay, take a deep breath in. And this, what I'm doing now, is will be good for everybody to help bring balance, better balance to the masculine, feminine within. I have a different perspective on what everybody's terming as the rise of the feminine. I can talk about that in a minute. So that's opening up. They're starting to shift. So that's opening up for you. That's kind of getting you out of that kind of like a little pod. Releasing a lot of judgment, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of criticism, and that weren't necessarily directed at you, but you internalized as a male because those judgments, criticisms, those etc. were you saw that directed as men when you were. That goes back to when you were very little, you know. So stepping you out of all of that. So there might be grief that starts coming up. That's good. Grief of, of realizing the loss that created. We know how that feels. Okay, good opening here. Glenna, you're still feeling lost? Disoriented is a better word. And it's like you keep looking around and your spirit doesn't know which way to go here. So going to Glenna here. It's Glenna. It's almost like you lost the connection to your spirit. I mean, it's still there, but there's the usual, the connections that you've always been used to are like completely gone, and you don't know where to reconnect yourself to your spirit. That's what it feels like. I don't know if you're still on here or not, Glenna. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. There's actually more with that for Glenna. Okay. There's a whole identity. So this feels like that connects up with the irritation. There's this whole identity in you that is really pissed off. Your spirit is trying to come into a new way, but there's this whole identity that is connected with the old, and it does not want to let your spirit come in because it wants your spirit to come in the traditional way. So yeah, that's what's going on there. And it's I'm glad you showed up today because that's actually been showing up for me. But I told your spirits like, okay, I'll reach back to person one. So, but keep showing up. You gotta get Glenda to show up. Here you are, showed up. So yay, we got two. So relax into that peace. So stop fighting in any direction. Just let yourself kind of relax into that peace. And Devin, let me know how you feel. So Glenna, yeah, just allow yourself, just it's like fighting. So you're kind of caught in the middle. There's a and just kind of let go. So let go, relax, and just tell your body to relax, let your muscle. Oh, yeah, and it's kind of hard to go there because it's really bringing up a lot of sadness, a lot of loss, a lot of grief. There's a lot of grief over the loss of the traditional side. So something to look at is what the attachments are about, kind of thing, with the traditional. Okay, because it's not about getting rid of the traditional, but it's about getting rid of the attachments to that, because that's what gets in the way. And then we can take what is the purity of tradition of whatever, and step into the new and bring that into a new form. So in pain physically, but spirit very happy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So there's a disconnect for you, Devin, between your spirit and your physical body. So pain has I'm going to say, I won't put a percent, I won't say 100% of the time, but majority of the time, my sense and what I've seen in myself and other people's, when there's pain in some area, just take one part. Let's say there's pain in the finger. When you start to bring yourself, your awareness into area of pain, it's can be really painful because it really starts to accentuate the pain. But if you keep doing that and bring yourself into that area, that starts to bring through kind of the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, the all the stuff that's going in there that's causing the pain. You have a lot of, I'm going to say, self-hate. You really, that you eat yourself up a lot, so that's part of the pain. That beating yourself, no, that's and autoimmune things are similar. Is that there's that part that you're hitting on yourself. So once this body, well, that's the problem. Your spirit wants into the body. Your identity about what your spirit wants is trying to pull it out, keeping you separate. So that's part of the problem. So that's one way you're fighting yourself. you can't separate your body from your spirit. If you do, that's that simple. So, um, the resonates with my son's issues. Yeah, sorry, I haven't read your thing. I noticed it popped up, but I haven't read it, Ilaria. So it's a belief that our spirits are up above us, float around. We have physical bodies because our spirits said, let's do this physical and let's come into physicality. So it's not separate. It's the same. So your spirit doesn't want out. Your spirit is trying to come into the body. But because you're fighting with yourself, it's kind of like, oh, God. Yeah. So it might be like when you start kind of coming into your body, that'll help you a lot more. It's going to break up a lot of shit. Just warning, because you've got quite a bit going on there. So it's going to bring up a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of bad memories, a lot of self-hatred. Self-hatred is a big thing for you. You learned to hate yourself, and I'm going to say that you learned to hate yourself for being, because you're a man. So that ties in what Ilaria brought about the feminine earlier. Because it got, I don't want to say pushed on you that men were bad, men did all these bad things to women, and yes, the males from real far back have done really bad things to women, and women have done really bad things to men. So we're in the same boat here. We're equally bad. Self-hatred depends, just as his father. Yeah, I think we've talked about that, Maria. So, yeah, yes. So I want to just say something, Devin, to separate for you. This is not about you. That's been said. This is not about the pure male of what has been said and the attitudes and stuff that has been thrown out. It's about the distortion of the pure masculine that people have experienced, that people have, and people, I leave it to people, because women have caused a lot of distortion in the masculine, because distorted too. So release that out. That's not who you are in your pure state. Those are just distortions that you are carrying about beliefs about yourself. Does that make sense, Devin? For you? Ilaria, let me go back here. Me too. Didn't see that, so I'm not sure what the me too is. Oh, I know, with the spirit thing. Okay. No, you're in a different situation, Anna. You don't have that. What Glenn has got going on. Can you check my son's reflex? He was back off. Yeah. Well, I think we're I think we're kind of answering that question, Ilaria, aren't we? It just that there's a lot of fighting that's going on internally. Yes. Okay. So realize that, Devin, this isn't you. This isn't the pure masculine. How do I talk to the boy that I'm interested in? That Elizabeth. I'm too afraid to say anything. I love that. That's real sweet. Let me pause on that one for a minute. Love that question. God, we've all been there. We have all been there. When you like somebody, So one thing to think about is like, what are you afraid is going to happen if you say something? And so you can ask yourself, it's like, what's the worst thing that happened if I talk to him? Already that's coming up. So rejection is a really hard one for us when we don't feel strong in ourselves. And you're at that age where you're like, you're still discovering yourself, you're still unfolding, you're still opening up. Um, and you're doing beautifully with that, but it's like, phew, we're going in all directions. And the hormones are flooding around too. There's this whole mix that's happening at your age. So it's like that makes it even more kind of poignant. So something's coming up. I'm trying to find the words, let the words come out. What's kind of coming through is to not talk about him directly or about you directly, but to kind of a neutral thing. So if you're in a class together, it's like, did you understand what the teacher just said? So that starts to break the ice, because part of the problem for you, it's like you want to talk and all these things, and then it starts to get convoluted and it's like really caught up in, yeah, what if I say this? What if I this? How do I make it? So it's like you just need to crack that ice, and then things will start flowing. So that's kind of an easy neutral for both of you, because he's probably in the same place and in his own way. So finding that kind of that neutral conversation topic or question that just opens up the door. How's that sound, Elizabeth? Yeah, and your son and your and his father, Ilaria, I mean, it's like there's so much self-hatred that they're really getting into just attacking and berating, and because it hurts so much, it's like that's the only way they know to get it out is kind of being bad, throwing that bad stuff out there. All right, noticing the time. So let's all take a nice deep breath in. A lot has come up for people. This is good. And Glenna, yeah, like to hear from you too, Glenna. Yes, that makes sense. He seems very smart, though. Oh my God, Elizabeth, you are so freaking smart. You're incredibly smart. What are you talking about? You make it sound like and that's okay. He's very smart. That's great. So maybe you got a hell of a lot more topics to talk about. But that's an easy way. It's like the teacher, and use that. Hey, use that. So if you've got a class together, it's like, hey, can you explain this one to me, even when you already know what the answer is? That's a way to kind of open up. It's like, I think I understand this, but I'm not quite sure. What's your take on it? Can you explain it to me? There you go. Hello there. There's a lot of earth rumbling in my area. Any insights vibrationally off the chair? Okay. Okay, I don't always do this. I do the land clearance, but that's kind of in a different context here. But let's see. So I'll take a look at that in a minute. I'm kind of curious to see what I get a sense of. But let's get everybody into a deep space. So everybody, take a nice deep breath in. Next time in class, yay! There you go. All right, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Exhale completely. Squeeze all that air out. Ooh. And then comes back in, come into your chest. Yeah, feel that relaxation, that resting. Now everybody feels like they're a little kind of resting more into their space here. So let's clear a lot of stuff is releasing from people. Very nice. Me too. Me too. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. I see these comments. I get it. Okay. interested in what I'll get. And BG, I don't know if I know you because all I get is BG, so I'm wondering if I know you or if you're new. If you're new, welcome. If I know you and you this is the first time you show, welcome. So, all right. Yeah, that's all. So everybody's clearing out. Very good. Very nice clearing for everybody. Okay, BG. Let's see what's going on, BG. Well, the first thing that comes up is that there's a lot that's it's like there's a lot of emotion that people like bury literally in the earth, like they do these cleansing ceremonies and da da da, even grounding, and then they release all their stuff and clearing their stuff out, um, and not done properly. So it feels like there's a lot of that in that's been done in your area. And the rumbling, it feels like the rumbling has to do with that clearing the earth is, it's like, when you've got something stuck and you kinda shake it and it breaks up, it's, for some reason, garlic is coming up. If you take, garlic that's unpeeled, like the cloves, and you stick them in a jar, closed jar or thing, and you shake it up, that will break the skin away from the clove. So, yeah, there's like this huge cloud that I'm seeing kind of at the surface rising up from your area. So BG, does that make sense to you? That, like in your area of a lot of kind of like the new age stuff, but unfortunately kind of distorted. Hi, Diana. Um, oh, I know the time difference. Yeah, talk about it. Waking up in the morning and it's like, oh, it's not good. That's not the time I'm expecting. So it's almost like this anger, and it's not that the earth is feeling anger, but I'm in Tampa. Oh, interesting. There's yeah, there's just that quality where it's like kind of like, okay, let's get rid of this, no more. So let's see, honing into, it's almost like there's a fault line in Tampa in that area. Um, Not a big one like on the West Coast, but there maybe not a fault, but Seminole Indian, lots of development, tons of chemtrails. Same rumbling in Nashville. Oh, interesting. Um, Nashville too. Uh, yeah, and there's also the sense of it's not just like the lots of development. So the development, that disregard for the earth, so that's the way that people have dumped on the earth, is the way they've been building on the earth too. Um, Nashville is different. Nashville feels very different to me because there's a very there's older white history there. I'm gonna classify that very specifically, white history there, and poverty in that area. That ties in, of course, right into the Appalachian Mountains. Um, and so a lot of that uh, uh, poverty mentality, but just those frequencies of poverty is just kind of clearing out, just being just kind of dumped by people, um, and trying to get rid of that. So a lot of interesting, and that's a really interesting piece you're bringing up, BG. I like that. So yeah, in Nashville, there's that. I don't know how close the mountains are to Nashville or how surrounded Nashville is with mountains, but there's that mountain energy that's coming through with that rumbling. So that's what basically that's what it feels like is just that rumbling of as a clearing process of what people have been dumping and the disregard. So in Tampa, it feels more like the disregard to the land because it's more of the development and the modernization of the land. In Florida, yeah, I wish I'd seen Florida 50 years ago. It sounded so incredible back then, before it got developed. And you also, my sense is you also have that link to the land, not necessarily location, but that link to the earth, so that you are more tuned in, and you're going to notice that more readily. It's going to come to the surface for you. And we're going through a lot of cleansing right now. Yeah, and it feels like there's water stuff with the ocean there with Tampa also that's coming in. Um, is that cleansing of the waters? No, so it's not cleansing of the waters. Is that the so there's stuff going on with the grid work of the planet at that energetic level too. That's contributing to that, and it's my sense is it's sort of this pattern of the because this new grid work that's and all these new frequencies. So same thing as with frequencies, just very specific to the grid work of the planetary grid work. When we have those new frequencies that come through, the things that don't mesh at that level have to break down. So that's part of the rumbling also. Does that make sense, BG? Oops. Got. Oh, all right. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place here. BG, yes. Sorry, I don't know why. Something came up. Yes. Okay. Great. Yeah. Very good. And one thing you can do, because it just feels like you've got you're one of these strongly, kind of aligned with that sense of earth. And so really center yourself, come into yourself. And I see that, but let's really work on that. Everybody, let's work on this together because this will be good for all of us. So take a deep breath in. And come into that strength of yourself, everybody, and owning yourself. Owning the fullness of your spirit. And your body, your spirit in your physical body, like this is me, like holding that. This is me. Boom. That strength and that stability, holding strong. That's something you can really work on, Devin, is that owning yourself, coming into that strength. Since we were working with you earlier. And anchoring yourself from that strength of owning yourself, anchoring, connecting into the earth. So that's instead of connecting into the earth to get grounded. I mean, we kind of do that. coming into that strength. So BG, to work with the land, coming into that strength of yourself and your being and owning yourself, really strong stability within yourself, and then connecting into the earth. So it's not about grounding, it's about connecting to the earth, if that makes sense. Someone said lava. Yeah. Different perspective. It's also like the way the information presents itself. So the visual images will, or the quality of the images will go through, um, you could say filters, but also kind of information bank that people have. So yeah. I see it. Well, if with lava, it makes me think of volcanoes. So that rumbling of the volcano, not as opposed to the flow of the lava, but it, yeah, there's for me those are two separate parts of a volcano, and but they're happening at the same time. But yeah, if we don't, that lava is going to start coming up if we don't work with that. Okay, everybody, 5 o'clock. Thank you all for stopping by. I didn't know what was going to happen today. We had an incredible session last time. I would say it's worth listening to because it was incredible. Yeah, the frequencies coming through, the space that we were in, and the beams of light that came through. And by the way, unfortunately, those were not UFOs. Those were apparently those were weather balloons. Uh, this was a fun aspect. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That was kind of different. I like that. Um, but I have seen photos. Time flies by. Yes, when we're having fun, absolutely. So check the one last time if you haven't. Thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening. Peace. Yeah, and you too, Devin. You too. Go find love for yourself. Feel that love for yourself. It's there. Thank you, Marianne. It's so much more relaxed. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad you popped in. I'm glad you have been showing up, but I was waiting for you to pop up yourself. And Anna, you can reach out to me with that question you had before. So thank you all for stopping by. It's been fun, and see you in the ethers, whether it's on the Pure Life Awakening Intensive. That's on Mondays, and here or somewhere else in the ethers. All right. Enjoy.